What you are listening to is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in the squared circle. Both parties have agreed to dismiss their cases and have their disputes settled here in our forum, the Turnbuckle Debate.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Turnbuckle Debate. My name is Chad.
I'm Colton.
I am twitch.tv/freams.
And we have a special guest returning for his second time. Ooh. We got Mayor Aaron from LUMBERJILLVILLE. Aaron, dude, what's going on, man?
What's going on, guys? It's good to be here. We got a little different crew tonight, but I'm excited, man.
Yeah, so obviously the loyal listeners know if they hear my voice open the show, something is really wrong. So Sneed is not here tonight. He has a tummy ache. Tom, all the best to Tom. Tom isn't here. We can't wait for Tom to return, but yeah. Colton has became our fourth man. Who's the fourth man?
Yeah.
And Freems is stepping in late notice like only he can do, making his surprise Rumble appearance. So we're going to have a good time tonight, though.
I'm excited. Glad to be here with you guys.
Aaron, what's been going on with LUMBERJILLVILLE, man? Keep us up to date. Let us know what's going on in there.
So it's been a crazy couple months. As everybody else at this time of the year, I was sick. I'm still coughing. I was sick for weeks, had the flu. Then I tore a muscle in my back, like Cody Rhodes with his pec, except not in the same part of the body. Like when I did the Jillies, I was determined to get it out 2 weeks ago, and it took me about 5 times longer to do. But yeah, it's been rough. It's been rough here, but it's all positive. I'm just waiting for some new figures to get out and release so I can review them. Recently on my birthday, I don't know if you saw this, I found a CM Punk chase.
Nice.
Yeah, on my birthday. So it's been the 3rd year of AEW Figure Luck on my birthday. So it's all gravy. It's all good here. Gravy. Why'd I say that? How'd I say that? It's all good here in LUMBERJILLVILLE. Everything's good. So I've got some ideas coming for some videos and content coming out.
That's awesome, dude. You said you're waiting on some figures to be released to review. Is there any specific, give us a tease. What's one that you're really looking forward to?
Elite 102 Rhea Ripley. The pre-order's not even up on Ringside, but I'm pretty sure it was announced officially. It was okay. And I'm pumped for that one because she's so big right now, right? And
dude,
a lot of these women's wrestling figures, like I have a blast reviewing them no matter what, but that's one of those stars like a Liv Morgan or Alexa Bliss or Sasha Banks. You know what I mean? Like those ones always grab people's attention and bring them to LUMBERJILLVILLE, because otherwise it's been a slow climb to get to where I'm at. But stars like that have that attention, it brings people over. So I'm real excited. I'll come up with something. And JC and Gigi, when those basics come in, I have a very special intro set for that one. It'll be pretty cool.
That's awesome, man. I can't wait. Guys, go check out LUMBERJILLVILLE on YouTube. Awesome, fun show. Always a good time. I love the world you create, man. It's not just reviews. I love it's an experience. You guys got to check it out.
Yeah, I checked it out before I came on here, and it's very wholesome. I mean,
thanks.
I enjoyed it.
I have a blast. I review all women's wrestling figures. Anyone that's listening that's unaware, I review every single women's wrestling figure that comes out, and I try to make it entertaining as possible. You know, I try to have a little story and everything. So I just have a fun time doing it.
That's awesome, man. Well,
thanks, guys.
We got 3 topics on the table, and there's some good ones. I'm excited about them. Are you guys ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. First topic is which female wrestler outside of WWE, AEW, and New Japan has the most potential? Now, when I'm thinking like star power potential, like could change women's wrestling, could really add something if they came into one of these companies and got a big company behind them. Who do you guys see has the most potential out there?
So I selected my wrestler without realizing they were at Wrestle Kingdom. They're not signed to New Japan, but they were at Wrestle Kingdom. And I don't know if that counts or not. So I have a backup too.
Okay.
So just for the sake of not butchering her last name, we're talking about Utami from Stardom.
Oh, yeah.
23 years old. She's basically won every tournament over there. And then obviously she got her spot at Wrestle Kingdom, which is pretty huge.
Do you think she's somebody Freems? Like sometimes, the Stardom stars and then they don't cross over as much. I mean, we get some, we get Kari came over. There's been some big ones. Asuka, was Asuka Stardom? Yeah, right.
Asuka, yeah, Kairi Sane.
She kind of did everything. Here's the thing with her though. At her age, her trajectory has her shooting higher than Asuka and Kairi
at 23.
At 23. Like I mean, and Asuka's right now, I would say is the Japanese GOAT of women's wrestling. But Utami is just
even Io Shirai.
Yeah,
that's my favorite wrestler, period.
And but I kind of cheated there because, like I said, Wrestle Kingdom. And I'm just gonna do this one for a fun one, just because I love her. You guys might be like, she's the star power. I think she's got charisma. Allie Catch.
Oh,
hell yeah!
GCW Allie. I love Allie Catch. Man.
Allie Catch is so good,
and she's so different. Like I think she might have the most edge of any women's wrestler. She can get down and dirty with the guys in intergender matches. I love Allie Catch.
Yeah, I watched her do a match over in Enjoy up in Pittsburgh. Also, I can't remember her name. Zazzy something.
Zazzy.
She has that "I Effed Your Mom" theme song.
Oh yeah.
I've been really enjoying her too, but we'll see where she goes. But Allie Catch has made a name for herself. So
yeah, I got to see Allie Catch at the last GCW show I was at. Saw your wreck too, man. Yeah, two really, really intense female wrestlers. Love seeing them live.
Sawyer Rex, awesome.
Dude, she's incredible. It was a real treat. I had no idea either her or Allie Catch were going to be on the card, and it was just a bloodbath. It was awesome.
Aaron, who you got, man?
So that's the thing. I'm not huge into the indie scene. I'm so intrigued and interested in it, right? Like I follow a lot of female wrestlers online, and that's kind of how I follow their careers. If I see something, I'm like, ooh, I'm going to look up their matches. Now, with that being said, Jordynne Grace obviously is kind of a lot of people know of Jordynne Grace, right? So that's kind of an easy answer, but I think she's a freaking stud. She is a star, and she's worked so hard. Her body transformation alone is breathtaking. Crazy. It's amazing. And I just think she has that strength, that ability. And I mean, here's the thing. We all know she can get fans to hate her, right? Mm-hmm. But she can get fans to love her too. So I think that's great to kind of have both worlds. I was going to pick Tessa Blanchard because she's, I think, with WoW right now.
Yeah.
But I just hope that she, gets everything kind of figured out with all the stories. I don't know anything for sure, obviously, but that's definitely concerning, some of the things that came out about her. So I'm not sure if that'd be the best addition to a women's division, it sounds like. But for me, it's between Jordynne Grace and Camille. I think Camille's that strong, silent powerhouse type that would make an impact anywhere, would come in there and go head to head with some of the big, strong women.
Physically, she's
I think Jordynne Grace
like a Jade. Camille's almost like a Jade, like with her stature.
Exactly. I agree. So those are my two picks for sure.
And I'm with you on Jordynne Grace, man. Jordynne Grace is like how she's changed herself. Plus, she's so original. Like I don't see women like her in any of the major companies. Like we have a lot of great different all shapes and sizes in these divisions, but like that almost like Taz, Jeff Cobb, powerhouse suplex machine type of look that Jordynne Grace has. I think she's super charismatic. I love Jordynne Grace.
And she's only 26. That's something I didn't realize, because she's young. So much of her career, but she is so much younger than I originally thought, honestly.
Yeah.
I think I would love to see her in one of the quote unquote main promotions of AEW or WWE. I really would.
That'd be awesome. What do you think, Colton?
Jordan Grace was actually my top pick as well. Just to kind of echo what you guys are saying, man. I mean, I think her physique is in the top 5 in the pro wrestling business, period, between men and women both. Like, she is just absolutely fucking incredible, man. I mean, she is such a unit. And I've got an opportunity to see her live a couple of times. Like, before the show, she's always walking around talking to people in the crowd, man. Like, she's just a class act all around. I think she's got limitless potential. And, you know, I didn't realize she was that young either. You know, Freems, when you were saying your pick was 23, she's got everything ahead of her. I was like, I know that Jordan's got to be a little bit older, but I definitely could see her doing well in any promotion. I see her almost like as a kind of the next big thing, like almost like a female Brock Lesnar kind of
right,
where she ends up coming, man. Yeah, it's she's just absolutely incredible to watch. But yeah, just to throw a second one in there since it's already been taken, another one I had, another Impact regular, Masha Slamovic, man. She's so much fun to watch. She's super explosive, super snug. She's knows how to work a crowd. I think she's got a pretty bright future ahead of her as well.
And I think, what is she, like 22 or something?
Yeah, she's young.
Yeah, she's super
That's
young.
crazy, man. The future's looking bright, you know?
Yeah. GCW and Impact, Masha's been killing it. I think she just shot an angle with Bully Ray, aligning herself with Bully Ray, feuding with Tommy Dreamer and Mickey James.
That's
incredible.
a fun.
Oh, that's a great for her. That's a great opportunity.
Yeah, Mickey James is huge, man. To get the rub from a legend like Mickey James, that's awesome. For me, Camille was up there for me. I think she has something, like just that it factor, I think.
Yeah.
Alley Catch was in the mix for me because I think she's just so raw and edgy. She does stuff that I'm like, man, no other females are doing matches like this.
I need to go watch some of her stuff, guys. After hearing this, I need to go.
If Alley Catch were to get into with some like high level trainers.
Oh, I know.
Already in the Indies, like it would be, because like, you know, I think of like Jordan and you know, other people. They're in Impact, right? I mean, they're not like going around on the Indies as much, like strictly indie shows.
Right. Well, they have a little bit more of a little bit of a machine. It's not the WWE machine or AEW, but it's a machine behind them.
Also, Impact very underrated for like the last year or two.
Most definitely,
Absolutely.
man. I think they've been putting out the most consistent product in the last couple of years at any promotion, man. It's been,
and their women's division over X amount of years has been, I think they rivaled the NXT women's division when Io Shirai, Raquel Gonzalez were down there. You know, that was the best women's division in wrestling at the time. And I think the Impact women's division, you know, a lot of those women are going back to WWE or kind of splitting apart from there, but they do a great job with the women over there, honestly.
Absolutely, man. They had that, people forget that they had that big storyline that kind of broke through the mainstream when Tessa Blanchard was the champion feuding against Sami Callihan. That was must see storytelling.
Yeah.
And speaking of them too, like I like Killer Kelly a lot. She's kind of
I do too.
I love her gimmick. I love Killer Kelly. But for me, it came down to two people. And one of them, I don't know if they've proven enough to get this, but I just see something in her. Megan Bain, the girl in the middle.
Yeah.
Dude, she's been in AEW Dark a few times. She suffered, I believe, an ACL, some sort of knee injury that's put her on the shelf the last year. But she was coming in hot. When you debut on Dark and Tony Khan is giving you your full entrance, she comes out in her Spartan Athena gear with all of her minions following her, carrying her to the ring. It was a big production, and I think that AEW was really getting behind her and was going to put a rocket on her for that division, and then she got hurt. But another one, man, and this is super young, and she's just debuted on Dark. She's been a constant in GCW. She just turned 18 years old. Billy Starks. Man, like she's
Kentucky,
so good.
Hometown original here, man.
Yeah,
nice.
She has something. It's completely unpolished. You know, she's just getting her start, but there's so much behind her. I feel like she could be like Nick Wayne tearing it up in GCW with that contract waiting on her. waiting on him. I think she's kind of similar. Like if WWE, NXT, or Tony Khan and AEW get really behind this girl and develop her, I think she could be one of the next big main event stars.
Sure. And that's something I should mention. I don't get to meet many wrestlers, but at StarCast, I did meet Jordan, and she was a sweetheart. You know, I really was glad to meet her. I was almost starstruck at that, as to some people with WWE and AEW stars, because she had the Impact Knockouts Championship, and I'm like, whoa, it's such a big deal to me, you know? So yeah, she's awesome, but good picks. I'm writing a lot of these names down that I wasn't too familiar with. Can't wait to dive in on some of these names, you know?
And dude, I think you brought up a good point with Tessa Blanchard. I would pick Tessa Blanchard right off the gate if it wasn't for all of the kind of the bad press. I think that would keep her from getting the push. Yeah. But if that didn't exist, she would probably be my number one.
No doubt. Yeah, I had her at number one, then I'm like, no. Then she kept going down, falling down my list. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big deal. You know, I think attitude and everything's a huge deal.
I don't think she could overcome that. You know, like I don't think she could overcome that with like how society and, you know, the IWC is on Twitter. I don't know if she could overcome that stigma.
That's a good point, man.
You know who I wish would have been able to do more that's over at Impact? And I was introduced to them through Ring of Honor, because you know me, I'm Ring of Honor Andy over here, was Deonna Purrazzo.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, she killed it in Ring of Honor, man.
Mm-hmm.
I wish
she had a good run in Impact.
I would love to see her go to like an AEW or even WWE. I guess, I don't know. I don't like what WWE's doing with their women's division right now, aside from up at the very top.
I'm with you, man. I feel like they're
making it goofy.
They're just not. I like a couple storylines, but I'm like, man, with the talent they have, they should have rich storytelling from the top of the card to the bottom of the card. They have so many great women over there. I think the female wrestler in WWE right now I'm most like drawn to is Rhea. Rhea's had a killer year.
Yeah,
killer year, dude. Yeah.
All right. If you guys don't have anything else to say, we can move into our second topic.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Who should dethrone Jade? Now, who should and who do you want to see dethrone Jade, I should say. Now, Aaron, you brought this question to the table. Kick it off, man.
So who do I think will dethrone Jade hopefully things are changing, but with AEW's, past storytelling with their women's division, probably Britt. They'll probably have Britt come out of nowhere. Probably Britt, probably someone like that. With Rebel coming in with a stun gun, a taser or something, you know what I mean? Like Goldberg and Kevin Nash. But that's not who I want. You know, I've thought about this, and this is one of the storylines. Like, this is so big. This is so important for the women's division, because my buddy who helps with the channel, like, he's made a few appearances on. My best friend he hasn't watched wrestling in a while. He'll just see posts. And he called me one day and said, hey, what do you think about them doing like the Goldberg thing with Jade? And I was like, buddy, you're talking about it and you don't even watch wrestling. That's huge. That is huge for the women at AEW. You know, that's more attention than they've ever gotten. So, okay. Anyway, who I want to see, who I think would be excellent. I know she's out right now with an injury, but that could play into this, is Chris Statlander. You know, she's a talent. She is super talented. I think she can get the fans behind her. And right now, I mean, I think it was, I wrote it down here, like August, where she tore her ACL, her other ACL.
Yep.
And so she's probably not going to be back until August 23. But why not start building promos now? I think you could really get the fans behind her and feel sympathy for her and be like, oh my gosh, she's torn her ACL twice. She could come back and get the TBS title. Like, it could be like a Daniel Bryan, for lack of a better term, Daniel Bryan type moment. You know, the fans rooting for her and supporting her and wanting her to succeed. And I think she has a skill set and the talent to do that. I really do. And the fact that she's like a homegrown AEW talent, right, so to speak, I think that'd be tremendous. And that's who I would really want to see. I'm a huge fan of hers. And she's gone through so much and had so many roadblocks that I think they start shooting the promos now, even if it's not directed toward Jade, just get people motivated. Like, oh my God, she's coming back. Oh, get people excited, get people supporting her. And then when she makes that challenge, I think people would already be kind of behind her on that.
Dude, you got me excited for that. Like, I thought Statlander, but I didn't think, what if she starts cutting promos now?
Yeah.
I'm going to take it one step further than what you said. What if these promos, like, I'm coming back, what if she calls out Jade in the promo?
Sure,
so we know when
definitely...
she comes back, that's what she's coming back for. Like, for her to call her shot months out and we just follow her journey and have these kind of like cryptic promo videos coming, that would be such a great way to build Statlander. I'm going to go a completely different direction though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she should get dethroned. I think
I didn't
ever for the TBS title. I think she takes that belt into a world title match and wins the world title, comes out on Dynamite after the pay-per-view where she beats Jamie Hayter or whoever's holding the belt, comes out on Dynamite, says, I don't want to carry 2 pieces of gold. I've got the big gold. I'm putting this one up, and they hold, Tony Khan loves tournaments, hold a tournament for the TBS. Go ahead and throw a returning Chris Statlander saying she's entering that tournament and she's going to take it. She wins the tournament, wins the TBS title. Jade is now your world heavyweight champion in the women's division.
I actually love that. I didn't even think of that because I was so stuck on the Chris Statlander thing. But I love Jade. The one thing I love most about these women's wrestlers, probably why I love NXT so much, is I love watching the development. I love these wrestlers starting out getting all this hate and watching them kind of polish up everything and move their way up. And Jade's been getting so much better. And I'm just such a big fan. She is the best thing happening over there for the women on AEW. And why have her lose? She doesn't have to. You're right. Yeah. I think that's a great take on it, man. I didn't even think about.
I get why that's cool and how it puts Jade. I feel like, it definitely puts Jade over, right? But I feel like it's an opportunity to help put someone else over that would, and like the amount that it would put the other person over would be way more beneficial.
I'm with you, but here's what you have to weigh when you're looking at that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Jade is in that moment where her putting someone over for that title would be huge for somebody. I mean, a Sky Blue, or not say Statlander, even anyone who would beat Jade, that'd be a feather in your cap. I'm the one behind 51-1 or whatever she would say. But you have to weigh that against holding her star power down. Like, I think Jade could be the transcendent, mainstream, huge it factor star of AEW. I'm not talking about women's division. I'm talking she could be the star of that company. And do you have her take an L on the TBS title to put over someone, or to kind of give her a loss going into the main event world title scene? I don't know.
You're going to hate my opinion on this. You're going to hate it. I love her character. I love like everything she brings. I can't stand watching her wrestle.
Really?
I mean, it's gotten better, but like,
I think she's gotten so much better.
She's gotten so much better. Yeah.
Probably because I'm like a fucking mark that watches too much Stardom, but
dude, hey, Starlight Kid, that'd be a good one for
the person who took her under their wing and who's been working with her for over a year and a half, Daniel Bryan. Bryan Danielson,
that's great. I don't know. Something about when she wrestles just kind of like,
you're so wrong on that.
I think the best women's wrestler right now in AEW is Jamie Hayter.
Oh, I love Jamie.
Obviously, she's not going to take the belt from her. That'd be weird.
She's hard hitting too, and she comes from that Stardom school.
Oh yeah.
Colton, who do you think?
Yeah, I was going to say some of the best women, like Riho. I mean, I love Riho, but she's never getting the title, but I think she's like the best.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Aaron, so far you and I've been on the same page all night, man. My pick is Statlander for sure, and I think they're going to do it. It makes the most sense to me. I mean, because I feel like I was the same boat as you, man. When Statlander came on the scene in AEW, I was like, oh man, this is. I had no idea who she was. I'm like, she just really something about her makes you want to see more. And I know Tom is not a big fan of her. She's from outer
Alien
space gimmick, but
I
I'm
love it.
100%, 100% here for it. I think it's cool as fuck.
Me too.
I think it makes perfect sense, man. I like where you're coming from, Chad. But I mean, shit, she's 52-0 now, man. A loss is not going to hurt her at this point. This undefeated streak is
true.
long.
We see what happened to Goldberg, though.
I think it gives the opportunity. Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
I don't blame Goldberg.
Rebel,
I don't want to see it play. Yeah. But I don't know, man. I think it's a perfect opportunity to bring Statlander back and kind of fast track her, because obviously if she hadn't gotten hurt, I think she'd be in the running for it, if not in the running for the world title at this point. So I think it's a perfect opportunity. She's 52-0. Right now, I don't really see anybody that makes sense to take the TBS off of her. So it's not hurting her, holding on to it for now. Who knows when Statlander is going to be back, but I say let Jade keep it until then. I love the idea that you guys both had of shooting promos before. I'll take it either way, man. I'll take it. I would almost think it'd be cool to just have no word from her whatsoever, and then Jade come out and have an open challenge and her music hits. Yeah, surprise return from Statlander.
That'd be cool.
Maybe at Revolution would be really cool.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, so that's who I think they're going to do it. Who I think's going to take it off her, and who I think should take it off her, the same person in my case for sure.
Dude, you know what would be crazy?
What?
You know what would be crazy? Talking about her doing a return. I don't know if they've ever done this. Where, say she's still rehabbing, if she comes out on crutches or with her leg in the brace, even at a Revolution, it's never really been done like that. You want them to come back healthy, but if she came back and was like, "Look, rehab's going great, and I just want to let a certain someone know that I'm gunning for them," and just put it out there and her disappear for another couple months, and then promos start.
That's kept my motivation to get through this rehab, because I want to be as strong as possible. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it would be great.
If this happens, I'm like getting a group text with all of y'all.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frames, what kind of Jade hate do you got for us?
Maybe Frames won't be in the group chat, guys. Okay.
Well, just in case she's listening, my number one pick is Sky Blue, just because I'm Chad, you're a Sky Blue man.
Sky Blue.
Yeah, you're a Sky Blue man.
I like Sky Blue.
Yeah, hell yeah, you are.
Sky Blue is great, man.
Hard not
Very
to like
talented.
Sky Blue.
But yeah, honestly, that's just in case she's listening. She's my number one pick. But number two, God, this is gonna be unpopular too, I think. I like the idea of a big Ruby Soho, Jade Cargill storyline, just because they're just like such clashing personalities. You have like Jade and the baddies with fucking Ruby coming out with Rancid and stuff.
Yeah.
But then, like, when you were talking on my head, I was thinking, well, Ruby doesn't have to win that. I could still enjoy that story happening, like a big story with it, though.
I actually have that written down as an idea, like a David versus Goliath, but what I want to see for AEW's sake is I want to see an AEW original woman be the one that gets put over. You know what I'm saying? Because I think, like with Toni Storm winning the title, people were like, oh, okay. And I think she's amazing, but I think people were like, oh, well, we've seen her. You know what I mean? We already saw her. So I think that was an experiment that they did maybe. And I
want to respond to that, but like it'll take too much away from the next topic.
Sure. I feel you, man. I feel you, bro.
I can't respond to it.
Frames
the reason why, like, okay, we'll just, I'll just backtrack to this whenever we get there.
Okay.
I'll let you know what I was thinking at the time.
Frames, I like the idea of what you said, though, of a Ruby and Jade program, and I think that work out really, really well. Even if Ruby doesn't go over, we all know that the women's title is going on Jade. There's no fucking way that's not happening. Probably this year. I would love to see Ruby Soho be her like first big storyline opponent.
Yeah, but I also think the title, it works being on Ruby, while also it works for Jade being able to go to the next picture, because also a Jamie Hayter program is also awesome.
Oh,
could you imagine?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I can.
Because Jamie hits hard, man.
Yeah.
She lays her shit
She's
in.
stiff,
probably,
dude.
Yeah, she's super stiff. Bring it out of Jade. I think. With all that being said, I feel like we got to get into the third topic because I had something to say too, and I'm like, I'm gonna blow the lead.
I was starting to I know I almost did. I almost gave it away, y'all.
Yeah. All right. We'll get into the third topic because it goes hand in hand with this. We're kind of tiptoeing into the next one. So topic number 3 is the AEW Originals versus Outsiders storyline helping the women's division. Now that's the storyline everybody knows. Saraya, Toni Storm kind of playing the outsider roles, the former WWE talent. They're kind of turning Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter babyface in the process of this storyline. They really already have. And then you've got Sheeta kind of helping out Britt and Jamie in weird ways, like almost by happenstance. She was caught in the middle a little bit. And then we still have Ruby Soho stuck in the middle. Tonight, we're recording this before Dynamite on Wednesday. There's a 3-way match between Britt Baker, Toni Storm, and Ruby. And it's kind of like, what's Ruby going to do? So do you guys think this storyline is helping the division any?
I think it's definitely helping the division, man. I think it's been really interesting to kind of see that divide. And like, personally, I think it's helping Saraya the most because, I mean, I was a big Paige fan in WWE, man, but like when they first brought her in, I was like, man, what are they really going to do with her? Like, we don't really need another, like, yeah, it's cool that she's not been cleared to wrestle for so long and she's finally back in the ring, but like, I don't need another like fan favorite from WWE just to come in here and everybody be excited to see her. Like, there's no story there at all. So like seeing Saraya come out as a heel and have this whole, I'm better than all you bitches fucking air about her, I think is perfect. Like, I've really been intrigued by it, and I'm glad to see that they're not just like ripping into two camps immediately. Like the fact that we have Ruby in the middle and Sheeta in the middle is really, really good storytelling.
I'm gonna sound like such a hater when it's my turn.
I'll go ahead and go. I think this storyline is helping the division in my head. I think the story is like there for the taking. It's a very compelling story when I'm booking it in my head, what they've laid there for me to want. But as far as like what they're actually giving me, I want more. To me, this storyline could be huge for this division. It could be the biggest storyline, one of the biggest AEW's ever done. The most important storyline for the women's division. Absolutely. I mean, there's endless possibilities. You turn Ruby heel, you have 3 dastardly women just tearing apart this division. AEW Originals fighting for their lives, a la New World Order 1996. But then you could even bring in Mercedes. Tony Khan's got deep pockets, man. He could bring out Sasha Banks and pull her into this storyline. It could be huge, but we're getting 60-second little spots on Dynamite. We're not getting these guys. This storyline needs a 10-minute segment, bare minimum, where they're in the ring cutting promos on each other. Every week we need either a big match or a big talking segment, not a 60-minute backstage interview where they spray paint someone. I like it. I like the spray paint, but man, I need more. So I think the storyline could help it, but it's not helping it right now because they're not giving enough to it.
And that's the big question. Will they ever get enough to it? Will AEW ever give their women's division a care? That's my little daughter, the whole reason I started the channel, everybody. This is my motivation right here. Don't touch my
head. That's awesome.
She says. But anyway, yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing is, will the women ever get the time? Will they ever, with so many cooks in the kitchen, so many of the higher ups kind of in the main spotlight at all times, like, will the women ever get the push they deserve? That's a big question. You know what I mean? Because we haven't really seen that. Like, Jade was the best example, and she made most of her upcoming storylines on Rampage. I mean, that got me watching Rampage every week. I loved it. But, want me to go ahead and go? I didn't mean to cut anybody. Did I cut you off?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think it's good because it is getting people to talk about it. And it is a little unfortunate that's like to get people to talk about the AEW women's division, they have to bring up WWE somehow in some way, shape, or form, right? But it does get people to talk and to care a little bit. As far as Saraya goes, you know, that's great that she was cleared. I still don't know if she really should have been, you know, but I'm not a doctor. I'm an athletic trainer, way off. But it's one of those things that I think she should quite frankly be there to put over the AEW homegrown talent. She should be there to make these other women stars. This storyline right now, kind of the ex-WWE employees versus the AEW Originals, let's say, like this is a great opportunity for the AEW Originals to become super baby faces. And I hope that's the direction it goes, you know, but I have to say that I'm worried that instead they're going to have Saraya and Tony kind of become the winners out on this. But I mean, it's hard to tell what direction they're going in because like you're saying, they don't have a whole lot of time, you know, and they're having little green spray paint promos, but how many of those are they going to do before it's like, all right, we got to add something else to this, you know, but it is getting people talking, you know, and I think that's definitely cool. But like I said, I think this is a huge opportunity to get people to care about a lot of the women on the roster that are on dark, you know, that maybe 3 people watch a week. Right. I mean, like, let's get them some TV time, you know, like I'm not trying to be harsh, but it's like these women deserve to have this time and they shouldn't be given this time just because they had WWE experience, but they could use it as kind of a leverage to get some of these stars over, you know, like Sheeta being involved a little bit in this is pretty cool. You know, like I really like that. I do too, man. So yeah, I like it, but I just want it to actually, I'm nervous, I guess you can say, more than anything. I'm nervous that they're going to drop the ball on this. You know what I mean?
I'm with you, man. Like when I first thought of this question, at first I'm like, of course it's helping. This storyline's awesome. And then when I really paused and I was like, okay, it's awesome in my head. Like I love the concept of it, but it's like, it's not, I do find myself wanting more from it every week. What do you think, Freems?
All right. I'm gonna be a hater now. Well, first off, of course it's helping the division because the division has been kind of trash for a while. Like last year kind of sucked in the women's division. I feel like Thunder
it's
Rosa
been weak.
Kind of fell flat.
Thunder Rosa was the worst storyline.
I was stoked when she won it.
And I love Thunder.
Yeah. Great wrestler.
We called her on the flagship show. It became a running joke. We called her the top of the ramp champ because all she did was come out and talk at the top of the ramp.
And that comes down to whose fault?
Exactly. It's booking.
Yeah, that's the worst part of it.
Yep.
The booking's been trash, not the women. That's what I would say.
So
yeah.
It helps that women even have a storyline in wrestling in AEW right now because they haven't really had much. And I think that makes it seem better than what it is.
Yeah.
Another thing I take issue with is I feel like AEW and sometimes the fans get excited about, like, I like to call them wrestling reboots.
Yeah.
Like FTR doing all the Heart Foundation spots. And CM Punk with the dog collar stuff. And like now they're doing the whole NWO thing with the spray paint and stuff. And I'm like,
it's the homages, man.
It's starting to feel hokey to me.
I get that.
It's cool. And I still pop for it because I mean,
but that's something though, like I feel like that's not a problem AEW has. I feel like that is a systemic problem in wrestling.
In all media, actually.
Rebooting. That's a really good.
Just
that in all of media, movies, TV. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's very true.
Hey, Freems. Is that a can of green spray paint you have in the background there? Have you been tagging people with that thing? What you been doing, man?
Another thing I have a weird issue. Like it's hard for me viewing them as like outsiders versus originals because I watched all of them. Well, minus Saraya, watched all of them wrestle all over the world for like 5 years before they even hit WWE or AEW. Like I watched Britt Baker in the Indies. I watched Jamie Hayter in Japan. I watched Tony Storm win the Progress Women's Championship. Like
that's a cool
I've been fans of these people for a long time. So like I view them all as like and I get it, like ex-WWE is what they're talking about.
That's just the stigma for IWC. They once you're there, it's like you're always branded that WWE wrestler. But I'm with you. Like I love Saraya, but the person that I feel like is the most undeserving of the just calling her a WWE wrestler is Toni Storm. I mean, Toni Storm, man, she's so young. She is so much ahead of her that. And what are wrestlers supposed to do? You know, if WWE cuts them and they're out there, are they supposed to just hang it up? They can't go anywhere else. I hate when people hate on other companies for picking up former WWE stars because it's a business. You want their star quality, you want their big name, and these people want to wrestle, you know?
And
most people.
Tony, oh, go ahead.
I was say most people aren't going to the WWE because they're bad. Like they're good wrestlers.
Right.
Yeah. But Tony's one of those ones that in WWE, I was like, please give her some title. I don't care what it is. Like, she has it. She has it. And yeah, like you said, you know, when she goes to AEW, and unfortunately, like, you know what I mean? It's almost like that stigma kind of dampened her title run, you know, being an ex-WWE. And that's unfortunate because she's great. And in WWE, there's no one that I wanted more to win gold than her, honestly.
Yeah.
And they just retroactively.
But you're right.
They retroactively made her champ too. She didn't defeat Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa dropped the title. So it's like
those stupid interim championship matches. It's dumb.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think if that's all I had for it. I feel like I had one more gripe. All in all, I will say it's fine that it's there. I want something better. I don't think that we need our the women's championship to be involved in like a weird storyline like this. Like they could be having this storyline and having another.
I could see
yes, yeah. We need to have more storylines that people care about, not just one at a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
100%.
I feel like they did the same thing with Thunder Rosa too. Like she was like, whenever she was going for it, not whenever she had it.
Well, imagine like what you're talking about. Imagine if we had Jade as TBS champ. We had someone as the world champ, and then you had this storyline. That's 3 big storylines you get to cover if you did it the right way.
That's why I think
the division's plenty big for it.
Yeah,
I mean, the roster's plenty big for it. They're just not giving them the time.
Another opinion that's
100%.
popular in a lot of places. I think they could do more if AEW had another hour on Dynamite. But
yeah, I was going to say that too. I mean, 3 mainstream TV hours a week, like.
I think Tony and them are so hesitant to push that 3rd hour because so many people shit on Raw's 3 hours.
Or what it would be is it'd be like,
yeah, but Raw's not good for 3 hours. If Raw was good for 3 hours, people would love it.
I don't know, man. I feel like I'd rather see him get an extra hour on Rampage and then just go straight up head to head with SmackDown. I don't need a 3 hour. I don't need a 3 hour weekly wrestling show. Period. As much as I would love it,
I would just be afraid that if they extended the time for the AEW shows, they'd be like, oh yeah, more time for the women. Hey, Bucks, instead of 18 minutes tonight, you got 28 minutes tonight. Hey-o, let's go. And then we'd be in the same boat and be like, well, frick, guys.
It won't ever happen on Dynamite because I don't see them pushing the show forward an hour. And then they have had a standing contract with the NBA forever. So
Right.
Yeah, that's true, man.
But I could see them doing it for Rampage. That would work.
Well, it's Triple H has came out in past interviews and said if it wasn't for sponsorship money and things like that, he would want it to go back to 2 hours. When Paul Levesque doesn't even like 3 hours and he's running the show, I think what they should do, I get that it's just on YouTube, but if you changed Dark and Elevation to truly tell stories, low to mid-card stories on there and develop your talent, I would make Dark or Elevation a place, a 1 hour to 90-minute place every Monday or Tuesday on YouTube to tell your low to mid-card female storylines and build them up. That way, at least when you come into Dynamite, you're building story. But I think that's a problem the whole company needs. They need to utilize those 2 YouTube shows better because people forget at one point NXT was kind of the equivalent of a YouTube show. It was stuck on NXT. It was stuck on Hulu and it had this cult following that people tuned in for. The only reason people don't give a shit about Dark or Dark Elevation is it's squash matches. They don't tell a lot of story on there. If we knew real shit was happening on those two YouTube shows, I feel like fans would tune in
100%, man. I would tune in 100%. Yeah.
It would just take one time too. Like if the first time they do it, because then they could be like, "Oh, this happened on Dark on Dynamite," and
it's on YouTube. That's easy to watch. That's accessible,
even like a title change.
Yeah,
man.
Anything.
Oh, that would be huge.
Yeah, like imagine like someone dropping the TNT title on Dark, like with some actual storytelling with it.
So since I have Aaron on here, we've kind of had topics about this, but this is going off topic, but it kind of relates because I brought her up in this storyline for the topic. What is your opinion, Aaron, on Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks? Do you think she's just having her time in New Japan and going to go back to WWE? Do you think she ends up in AEW? What do you think's going on with her?
You know, I really can't read that situation too well as to what's going on, but I've said this before. I think she is so important and was so detrimental to the growth of the WWE women's division. And I'll say this. Would I be friends with her? Probably not. I don't know if she's, the most likable person, but they need a woman like that that's going to put their foot down, that's going to be hard-headed, that's going to do what they need, that gets people to care. I think she's so important for women's wrestling. And, New Japan, I know their women's division small, but they have Stardom. They have an amazing thing going on over there. Like, I was really hoping she would go to AEW because I could see her being like, hey, Tony, quit kissing my feet. Book me in a story, right?
Yep.
Tony, over here. Quit sniffing Kenny Omega's trunks. Put me in a story, right? Yeah. Like, she would stand up and she'd want to change. And if not, guess what? She'd be gone. And Tony wouldn't want that. You know what I mean? So I was really hoping she'd go to AEW because I think she's the type of woman that they need that can make a difference, that knows their self-worth, right? So I don't know what her trajectory is right now. I can't read the situation, but with you saying, what if she showed up on AEW, dude, that'd be amazing.
I'm just being selfish. I'm just being selfish because New Japan's a little bit harder to watch. It's a little harder. AEW, you can just tune it in. It would be easier. So I'm selfish like that.
Same here, man. And I mean, like I bought a Micro Brawler Mercedes Moné. I bought stickers. I bought all this stuff. I'm a big fan. I've never watched New Japan. I've watched clips and highlights, but like, I don't even know how to watch it. Right. And I know there's a lot of people that do, because some people say it's the best. But as far as accessibility goes, you know what I mean? I think that's the big holdup. But yeah, I want to see her. I want to see her on the TV screen, man. I want to see her back, dude, in one of these companies.
What do you think, Freems? Do you think Mercedes stays in Japan, goes to WWE, or goes to AEW?
I think she could stay in Japan. Like, I hear, like, it cracks me up because I'll read like these like internet wrestling sites like, oh, she should have stayed to WWE. It's like, you don't realize how big wrestling is in Japan.
Right.
Like, she could
sure
be fine staying there and making a lot of money. Her husband already makes a lot of money designing costumes over there.
Right.
Yeah, she doesn't have to go anywhere. Like, it doesn't hurt. It hurts her career in America, maybe. She'll still have fans because there's a lot of American Stardom and New Japan fans. Yeah, I think she's fine there. I watch Japan. I watch Stardom. She's going to be on Stardom.
Do you think she stays there though?
She could have already signed anywhere else if she wanted to.
That's true.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
What do you think, Colton?
She could have she even could have went back to WWE, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure, man. Sure.
Dude, I think I think we're going to see her straddle New Japan and AEW. I don't see why they wouldn't. AEW's got a good relationship in New Japan, and I think there's a lot of meat on the bone for like a Forbidden Door situation with Sasha Banks. But I think we're going to see a lot of her in New Japan. I think that's where, where she wants to be. It's been her big goal for a long, long time, like literally her entire career. So yeah, I think she's got a big impact to make there, but I definitely think we're going to see her in AEW as well. I personally, if I had to bet, I don't see her ever going back to WWE. I hope not at this point. So
here's something I would bank on. See what I did there? If she would have a match in AEW, it would eclipse all the matches she had in WWE, because she was trained in Japan. Like that's where she got a lot of her chops.
Right.
So, the WWE style of wrestling isn't.
I will say though, man, if you're talking that Bailey match, man, those NXT
my
matches,
all-time favorite. But guess what? That had that AEW doesn't have
Storytelling. Yeah,
That's
true.
such a big
that's
point.
what drove a lot of that.
That's
was
so true.
storytelling. I'm just talking about pure just wrestling. Just
I'm
matches.
a just unabashed Bailey mark, man. She's like
Oh,
my
for
all
real.
time.
For real, yeah.
She's so good.
Yeah, I think she could have I lost my train of thought. Never mind.
No, I'm with you. I think Colton, you brought up something that I when I think of that is what I kind of think about is I think Forbidden Door. I think that's the big, hey, we got to buy this pay-per-view hook for Forbidden Door. She's already in Japan. They've got that working relationship. It's coming up, man. Forbidden Door's in June, and they're doing a number 2.
Yeah.
I think like probably around end of April, beginning of May, we're going to see her start toying with AEW to build a huge match. And I think it could be her and Britt Baker. It could be her and Jade. Who knows what the money's on, but I think she's going to be shooting an angle from New Japan, coming onto Dynamite television to build towards a Forbidden Door. That's what I see happening.
I hope, because last year's Forbidden Door, I mean, how many women's matches were on the card?
There was Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm, I think, and that's it.
I don't even know if there was one.
That might have been it.
I think I know Thunder
one.
was on there with Tony.
Okay,
but
then that was it. Probably it was. I remember looking at the
think
card
that
and I
was
was
it.
like, "Oh, this sucks." Like for me, being a women's wrestling fan, I'm like,
Right.
Let's pretend this never happened. Like let's.
But man, that card was so cursed too with like different. I was very impressed. I will never forget how good that show was after the universe tried to make it so bad with so many different injuries.
They took so many people out of that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Danielson, Punk, so many people that were going to be on that card got hurt.
That's right. Right around that time. Yeah.
The possibility.
It was still a good show.
Yeah.
Do y'all think Punk comes back? You seen Punk guy?
I think he's coming back, man.
Let me ask
I think
him.
he's coming back.
Hey, Chase. No, he didn't answer. He's eating muffins right now. He'll get back to you. What do you guys think on that? I want to know.
I have to be sheepish when I say it. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna.
I want to see it. I want to see it. I don't know. I've gone back and forth so many times. I don't know whether it's going to happen or not, but I mean, I think it would be quite possibly the best storyline in pro wrestling history, especially modern day, man. Like,
what's annoying when people talk about the backstage stuff? The only people who say he's not that bad backstage are the people that I feel like I would listen to, like FTR, Malachi Black, Brody King, like
really
the ones that are like, no, he's good, he's great backstage.
I think it's just one of those things where he's a guy who certain people he does rub the wrong way. I know those guys. Doesn't make them a bad guy with other people.
I'm one of those guys. It's called being a part of the hardcore punk scene. Same with Brody King and Malachi Black, actually, though that I think about it.
I think the whole Punk coming back is tying very closely into FTR. I think if we see FTR re-sign with WWE, I don't think Punk's coming back. I think that's a big piece into them re-signing is him coming back and being able to tell that story. I think it's money on the table, man. Everybody needs to put their egos aside and do business and make some money.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Brody King recently liked another tweet about CM Punk coming back.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's happening a lot. Well, if you guys...
was it? Oh, sorry, Chad. Yeah, I was just going to say not last week, the week before on Dax's FTR podcast, when he was asked about what their relationship with the Punk or with the Bucks is right now, he was like, I'm not going to say anything about that because I don't want to ruin anything for the future. Like, essentially, is what he said.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's I mean, and that could go either way, you know, just leaving the mystique there, just not to feed the fire anymore either. You can take it any way you want, but I feel like, I don't know, if it was totally out of the question, I feel like he would have been like, oh yeah, you know, we're fine. So
yeah, and here's why I don't read a lot of stuff on it, because your boy gets worked so easily. So easily I get worked that I got to stay away from all the rumors and stuff, because I've been known to be like, oh, did you see what this person said? Oh my God, they're never coming back. And then they're back that night. You know what I mean?
personally,
like, I can't.
I wish I got worked easy.
I love getting
dude,
worked.
I
It
get
doesn't,
worked easy. I'm the most gullible wrestling storyline fan in the history, man.
I wish I was.
I ride the fence, so it's like I want to believe, but I don't. There's a skeptical. I'm always like right on the fence. Like I want to just dive deep and buy in. Like I struggle with it.
Yeah, man.
Well, guys, if you don't have any other things to say about that topic, I mean, we went into Mercedes Moné, we went into Punk re-signing, so we
went around the world, Chad.
Yeah,
we went
dude.
around everywhere.
I always do that when I come on
Global.
here.
Sorry. Aaron, tell everybody where they can find Lumberjillville. Get your shit in, shill it out there. Let us know where to find you and follow you.
Check out Lumberjillville Wrestling Figures on YouTube, where I review all the women's wrestling figures. I also do some ridiculous things. Recently, I put makeup on my chest to mimic Cody Rhodes. Okay, I do things like that, just random things, but I try to have fun, try to make it entertaining. So please try to check that out. Hit subscribe if you like the content, but we're big on support women's wrestling over there and the women's wrestling figures, trying to raise the respect level and awareness in the community. Also on Instagram, check out Lumberjillville, and yeah, that's where you can find me.
Awesome. Yeah, guys, go give him a follow. Colton, let everybody know where they can find you.
You guys can find me at mullet.mania on Instagram. Also, don't know if you saw today, Tony Khan announced Ring of Honor weekly programming starting back on the 2nd of March. So on New Honor Society with me and Acefield coming up. Get ready for it. So.
Frames, got to jump in that.
Yeah, I mean,
come on, brother. Let's go.
That's the one show that I'm able to do, so.
It's back. Go subscribe to Ring of Honor, man. The Honor Club. I can't wait to see what the weekly programming frames. Let everybody know where they can find you on Twitch and everything.
Find me over at twitch.tv/frames, and it's 18 plus for sure. So be careful if you don't like
a youngin'
humor.
Not for the young kids. This is adult. This is adult content.
Yeah, it's like Mayor Aaron's, but the opposite.
Yeah.
There's no wrestling figures, and it's not wholesome at all.
It's debaucherous.
Yeah, it's very creamy. That's what we like to
very
call it.
creamy. All right, guys. Aaron, thanks for coming on the show. Always a good time having Mayor Aaron on. Go follow him, guys. This is the time, Tom usually gets his shit in. So go follow the OG Fig Kid. Show us some support.
And Fig Night.
Fig Night every Tuesday. It'll be back. Can't wait to do the debate again.
We miss you, Tom. See you soon.
We miss you, Tom. We'll see you guys again next week.